Hey there, this is Steven Wener coming back to you with all of our guests. We're just going to talk about the special things that are going to be, well, I got to speak English first.
Yeah, Mr. Canadian, can you speak English?
Hey, in January, just coming back from the holiday break, I always find it's like I'm geared down a little bit. I'm not in full throttle, just coming back from Thanksgiving, then Christmas break, then
your
New
New
Year's. And it's like overdosing on presents for my kids.
Let me ask you this. I mean, you're one of the top real estate agents in San Diego, one of the top agents at the Whissel team. What's your outlook for 2018? What do you see for San Diego and 2018 in the real estate market, Steve?
I think what's really interesting is like the whole tax plan that came down. A lot of people were worried about it, and it's not going to be as detrimental as everybody was worried about, it seems.
Well, they've made some changes,
They've
right?
made some changes.
Made some good positive changes. We've been talking about that over the last couple of weeks. So it's not as bad as what they originally were releasing,
right. Yes.
And talking about. But it still does hit a lot of high-income earners in Southern California because there's limits. They dropped the limit from $1 million mortgage right off to $750 on the new loans. But I think the bigger, problem that people start to see is your property tax deduction and your state and local income tax is capped at $10,000. Well, most people in San Diego, it's you buy a $700,000 house, you're talking $8,500 in property taxes, right? So you're almost at the cap. Well, if you look at your California state tax, we are one of the highest, if not the highest, next to New Jersey, maybe as far as state goes. So you're easily going to go over that $10,000 limit. So I know a lot of us prepaid our property taxes on December 31st or before to try to get what we could for this year.
And that's a gray area too. They don't even know if they're approving that or not, right? Well, IRS is up in arms about that.
Yeah. Because the IRS wants our money, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, it'll be interesting.
I still think the market's going to be super tight. Inventory's been hovering around 2 months for the entire year in different parts of the county, different cities. I mean, where I live in Oceanside, we had inventory levels as low as 0.7 of a month. And for those listeners that don't understand that, a healthy market, there's 6 to 8 months of inventory out there. Meaning, if not one more for sale sign went up, you'd be out of inventory in 6 to 8 months. In San Diego, you're in
a month or two
or less, and that's factoring in the high end areas, right, where you're over $2 million, where it takes longer, and they'll sit, and that's all factoring into the median times. But for the you got a price point 800, 900 or less. If you're 400, forget about it, right? It's almost non-existent. But this market is still supply and demand, and there's not a very big supply, and there's a very big demand.
So as long as that demand doesn't fade, as long as we keep businesses here, as long as these rich people stay here and
interest rates,
just take the stuff. Yeah, rates are still, relatively low. Yeah. They moved up over a year ago with President Trump getting elected, and this is the first bill that he actually got through. And so it'll be interesting to see how that tax bill comes out and how that impacts us. But as long as we still have jobs here, I think we're going to be good. And we've got a couple local guys, and one of them actually runs the local, and they've got a lot of jobs, and as long as they keep providing these jobs, I think we're going to be fine in Southern California. But Dave, how does the local look for 2018?
Just incredible. I mean, just to kick off, we have Super Bowl coming up, and we'll be running Super Bowl commercial bingo.
Nice.
So the best part,
I'll bring my mom. My mom likes bingo.
Right. So we'll have a lot of fun like that. Both locations will have amazing food and a great party for all the playoff games leading up into that. Particularly the local in Pacific Beach. I mean, summer's right around the corner. For Mr. Winter, it's summer year-round.
It's already summer.
But
thank you.
For us down at the beach, once about mid-March hits, we're off and running again. So we have an exceptional outlook for the rest of the year. And if you wanted to kind of see what's going on daily, you can check our Instagram for our daily specials at the local San Diego and the local PB. You can see daily. We have 1 million specials throughout the week for you to come and enjoy our food and some of our great craft cocktails.
What Dave's failed to mention is because he's there now, their outlook is stupendous. Let's just say that.
Of course.
Okay.
He's got a big smile. Yeah. Looks like they're busy.
I see what you did there.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I used a big word. I'm allowed. So, and, in your business, I know a lot of it's in Oregon and Washington, but you said you also work with different hard money lenders here. And what are you seeing project-wise? Because, again, like you're seeing offbeat stuff, right? People are coming to these lenders. You're trying to finance projects that they can't go to the bank for, but they're tough to find. So, like, what are you seeing?
Well, actually, I think that's an interesting question because I still think we have a tremendous housing shortage, especially here in San Diego.
Massive.
So on some of the outlying areas, is seeing a lot of, there's still construction deals that are going on, but those are tough to come by. There's only so much land. So there's pre-development deals that we do deals on, so just bare lands that may or may not be completely ready to build on. Now those are riskier deals and things like that, but you've got a lot of people who are looking to say, well, look, if I can get a piece of land and get it to the point where I can build 125 homes on it and there's mountains of money to be made, and so much, as you were saying, at that $400,000 price point. I think there really is, if people can build a 2,000 square foot house somewhere, San Diego County, you're not going to be living near the beach for $400,000, but somewhere in San Diego County for $400,000.
We can put you way out there in the hills. There are some places out there.
No, but there's so many people that the military coming at that
they can only afford $400,000, and they want a newer home, and they want something around $400,000.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you can build it, they will come, right?
Well, when I first started selling real estate here, when I moved here from Canada and transplanted, the market was basically, I really got into the market here 2009, 2010, and man, those values were just so down from the crash that I was dealing with so much military in North County. And then as every single month, it just seemed like values were going up. Then all of a sudden they're going out to Temecula. Then they're getting pushed to Marietta. It was just watching those loan limits change as well for the military, right? And then just depending on their E level or their O level, once for somebody that's not military, it's just what their basic housing allowance is per month. And they just started getting pushed further and further out. And I'm just watching this change before my eyes. Like, it was so quick. So, yeah, if you can build stuff on the lower end right now, it's gone. But finding the land is the challenge.
Well, and then they're not making a lot of land close to the – they're not making any new land on the beach in San Diego.
Yeah, I tell everybody that. We live in not only one of the greatest cities, if not the greatest city in the United States, but we're landlocked, right, and waterlocked. So unless this ocean dries up, and the local all of a sudden, has swampland and not,
right?
Beachland right there.
You guys
right?
should start dredging. Come on.
Then it could change, but we don't foresee anything like that happening to the ocean. We've got Mexico down to the south. We've got the National Forest in the desert to the east. We've got LA, Riverside, Camp Pendleton to the north.
Yeah,
so we're very bottlenecked, which is why it's hard with supply and demand. Right. It's hard to find the property. And I'd never been to New York until a few weeks ago, and my God, I hope we don't end up like New York. But, we're starting to see the skyscrapers, the high-rise condos. That is starting to be, hey, if you want to live downtown, be close to the locals so you can visit the great places down there. You're going to have to start seeing more and more like that, because to me, being a San Diego native, walking Manhattan, I'm like, I just walked around this little block, and there's thousands of units.
Right.
On this block. Thousands.
Have you been in a New York apartment?
No, I heard it like 400 square feet or something, right?
That's a big one.
One of my friends used to live there, and you walked in, to the left was the kitchen, to the right was like a couch, and it was all right there in maybe a 12 by 13, and the bed was over the bathroom.
Wow.
That's how tiny. And these things go for a premium. And what's really interesting, like, growing up, I'm in my mid-40s, and, you're somewhere around there.
I'm a little bit older, just a little bit, though.
And Rob's a little older than that, and Dave's a young pup. But, like, you hear about how the Japanese live in these small little apartments in Murphy, but it's just really engineered properly. And here we've been spoiled with space and yards, and I want this, my dog, my fence. But, you take the hipsters now and all these other, the new generation, where people are living in vans now. They don't care, and I think that's pretty cool, but not for my industry, but just like
they're starting to make cars based on that.
Yeah,
right? I read an article this week. They're literally starting to make cars that people are starting to live more and more in their cars and this high stuff.
Yeah.
What do you got for us as we wrap up the show, Rob?
Well, no, I was just going to say, we talk about New York and it's expensive, but I did see that, of the 100 most expensive zip codes in the country, 77 are in California.
Yeah. I believe it.
So I think just living here, we've gotten used to it. It's not how it is most around the country,
right.
Most places around the country. it is a unique situation. So,
But when you live here, you live here.
yeah,
Right.
you do.
Well, Whissel Saturday. This is our first Saturday, Steve.
Yeah.
What do we got to wrap up the show? I know as we're wrapping up, what do you have to throw in there? I don't know if we want to go back to Dave or Rob here, but we're down to the last minute or so.
I just want to wish everybody a prosperous 2018. I mean, we're all coming into a new year. We've all kind of like thought about the goals and whoever's New Year's resolution lasted this far, but it's a brand new year with a brand new start, and you've got roughly 12 months to just make it again, recreate yourself, and have an amazing year and be smart about it. And there's so much going on. We've got a great place you can go hang out at for a pub-type atmosphere by the water downtown. We've got money that you can make in a fund in Oregon and Washington. We've got a realtor that can give you it straight. We've got a mortgage lender that's a massive seasonally professional that knows what's up. We've got Brian here who's checking his phone and is just awesome at AV. And we have Jess, the marketing in the background. I just want to wish you all an amazing 2018. Steven Wener of Whissel Realty with everybody here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Thanks,
Year,
Steve.
Happy New Year.